Bonjour everybody, welcome back to question number 10 on the 2006 grade 8 Gauss paper. So question 10, the Gauss Candy Company has 8,362 lollipops to package. That's a lot of lollipops. They place exactly 12 lollipops in each package. Is that going to be even? I don't know. How many lollipops remain after the max? So they probably won't be even. In fact, 0 isn't one of the options. How many lollipops remain after the maximum number of packages are filled? Okay. So we're basically looking for the remainder when this number here, 8,362, is divided by 12. As soon as we make that connection, how many lollipops remain? Remainder. It's not too hard a connection to make, but still, word problems can be hard for some people. So what we're looking for here is we want the remainder when 8,362 is divided by 12. We'll get the F and C theorems out of here because we didn't actually need that for the last question. Okay, so now there's two ways that you can go about doing this. If you've got your calculator handy, and I do recommend you get your calculator for these contests if you don't have one, just basic standard scientific one. Here's what we do. We enter in the big number, 8,362. We divide by 12. Now if it divides evenly, you'll get a nice neat integer. I don't get one. I get 696.8333333. Okay, if I want the remainder when I divide by 12, I remember, okay, the big number, the stuff before the decimals, is 696. So I subtract off 696. I know I'm done because what I've got is not negative, and it's less than 1. So I'm left with that decimal part, 0.83333. To get the remainder, I now multiply this by the number I divided by, so 12. And I get 10. So 10 will be the remainder, and that's a fast way you can do it by calculator. Okay, works for really figuring out any integer remainder. So we can get the answer that way. It's 10. It's E. If you're satisfied with that, if you know you're always going to bring your calculator, great, let's move on. But maybe you don't bring your calculator. I forgot my calculator a couple times when I was writing exams. Never for these Waterloo ones, but there were other math contests, and I was just so excited I walked out without my calculator. One of them I had to go back. Quite embarrassing because I interrupted class to do it. But sometimes we forget our calculators, or sometimes our calculator just dies and nobody's got a spare. That sort of stuff. So how would we do this if we forgot our calculator? Well, long division comes to the rescue, and I know we don't want to do long division. I didn't like doing long division when I learned it, and that was back in grade 4, but it would be useful. Okay? Multiplying by hand, adding by hand, these things can come in handy if we don't have our calculator, and it's important to remember them. So how do we set up long division? Well, you got to put the big number under here. Okay. How many times does 12 go into 8? 0. Well, we don't really write the 0, but if you want to, go nuts. So 12 goes into 8 0 times. So we skip it, and we take a look at 83. How many times does 12 go into 83? Well, gee, I'd really like to have my calculator answer this, but I don't have my calculator. And so you sort of have to know your multiplication table. 12 goes into 84 7 times. So 12 will go into 83, which is one less, 6 times. 6 times 12, 72. And that's a remainder of, or a difference of 11. So we bring down the 6. Okay. How many times does 12 go into 116? I don't quite know, but I do know 12 goes into 120, which is basically that number, 10 times. So 12 should go in here 9 times. So we get 108. And we bring that down. We get an 8 here, so now we bring the 82. But we did this. We answered how many times 12 goes into 83 just a moment ago. It's going to be the same number. Hey, there's that 696 that we had when we actually used our calculator. Okay, so 6 times 12, 72, and we get 10. There's nothing left to bring down. No more 12s will go into this, so that's our remainder. So the remainder is equal to 10. We got it with long division. Didn't take that long, as long as we know our 12 times tables. Okay. But, if you really don't like long division or you think that took too long, that just further underscores bring your calculator when it's allowed. Okay? But either way, we get 10, and I don't remember which one. I think that was E, right? Yeah, E. So there we have it. Okay? So try and bring your calculators. If not, just remember things like multiplying by hand, dividing by hand. All that stuff comes in handy. Okay? And we'll move on to question number 11 in the next video. Thanks for watching.